Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 74. Yes, I know it's been about, like a little over 3 weeks since I last did a review for the series, but I've been watching live anime and reading lots of light novels. Now, my original plan was simply put, after I finish up a particular anime, finish up reading also some light novels, that I would come back to this. But due to the fact I've had it itching for quite a while to come back to this, let's just get this done and over with. I had 24 episodes left to go for this entire Super Sentai, so I figured, why not resume? This one I'm discussing 5 episodes of Liveman. Yes, episodes 26 to 30. Now, 26 and 27 are 2 standalone episodes, but 27 is a prelude to the next 3 episodes. The first 2 basically are part about the mentioning about the Ginga project. What exactly that is, it's not technically shown until toward the end of episode 27. 26 has the return of Choujuu, the character introduced in the previous episode, episode 25, and this episode here is his last ever appearance in the series because this character never appears ever again. Nope, they don't know why they dropped him from the show for. Basically, they're off in this other vacation spot where they ran into a friend of his, and apparently she, like him, like insects, and then all of a sudden there's this weird light energy. We have this thing called the Light Beast. Yes, the Light Beast. Where it basically, apparently the energy from this Light Beast is having an effect on the wildlife. Yes, for some reason, this light, which is not actually explained, as a matter of fact, it does not play a role at all. This particular light, not that much per se, in the next 3 episodes that come after episode 27. Yeah, this thing is causing bugs to basically go giant, like, make it grow bigger. Yes, and the bugs are happy with it. And Kemp is the first one to notice this of the Volt group, like, oh crap. Not only the live band here, but it's affecting the insects. Which caused a mild concern with the Volt. So, they saw, and of course, they had this whole thing of where the girl was, at first, she hates insects, and then later on, in the end of the episode, she has come back around to liking insects again. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, yeah, so they have to, in fact, beating the light monster, and they make these things called light. They use these light balls, per se. Strangely enough, these balls, now, unlike the metal introduced, when they brought up the Ginga project, that does play a role, because that's the basis they used to put for the Ginga project. The light balls, on the other hand, don't really play a role at all. Nope. And, of course, the monster's defeat is called the Light Brain. Yes. The very next episode involves basically them using quakes. Yes, quakes. This also is the episode used Megumin's father, who is an archer like she is. They show a little bit of flashback of him where he taught her archery, which that's quite nice of a father to do. Excuse me, they're battling Quake Monster, or Quake Brain, and of course battling Bucci and some other creature. And then he shows up in a army jeep. Yes, a army jeep. Where the heck got this thing? I have no idea. I know it's an army jeep because the military is known for driving these damn things. Well, back in World War II. I'm not surprised he probably has one per se. Maybe he served in the military in World War II. I don't know. They don't really say it much at all, aside from the fact he's Megumin's father and he taught her archery. That's it. And, of course, he thinks that she's taking way too long to be in Bolt. And due to being briefly captured by the Vault monsters, it turns out he's actually there not because, basically, he wants to help out, get a little faster, because he's there to introduce some marriage candidates. Yes, get her hitched. Now, I am not going to criticize the episode for that, because that's probably how people are basically set up in Japan. There are certain families who probably do that. Here in the US, it's not really a big issue per se. We don't have prospective marriage interviews and having like a photo before they meet their potential fiance. Usually it's done very naturally. But that's a culture in Japan. I'm not going to criticize it at all. It's the way they do things over there, so I'm going to leave that alone. She seems a bit surprised, but she also mentioned apparently that Joe and Yusuke actually got ties to their parents. Basically, they don't contact them. So eventually he realized that he made a mistake, but he says, though, after they take out the kick of the monster, so the driver keep driving, but he does mention this. His skills may have aged, but not his eyes. So he didn't figure out though this particular bus, which by the way carries some kids. Turns out they're not kids at all, and there's no humans aboard this ship. It basically this not ship this bus. It turns out it's actually the grunts, which a little bit surprising, a little revelation, but this is standard for Super Sentai. Yes, I've mentioned to some people who have been streaming some Super Sentai for them that grunts doing this, posing to other people. Yeah, this has been standard for Super Sentai for a long time. Now you might think, okay, did this happen in Jock per se? No. Battle Fever J was the first one I noticed this in. Yes. So after I take out that, the van itself just disappears after that. And then, of course, they morph, and then they basically take out the Quake monster. Of course, there's other Quakes going on, and you don't know what it is. Of course, we also see Lord Bias, where he has left the brain base, which to date, this is the first, at this point of the series, this is the first time he's ever left the base. Because usually he's always seen on the base itself. He's never gotten in the field before. Well, technically not in the field. It looks like it goes on some hangar, and we do see him looking around. I'm like, how the heck get there? Did he teleport there? Well, they don't really explain that until like the very next episode, episode 28, where he actually flew there via the spaceship that he had sent down for camp for the three who betrayed the three Liveman back in the pilot episode. This actually is the first time the ship has been seen since that very episode. So you assume that they used the ship to get down there, but in actuality, this is the first time it's been seen since then. So, and then, like, everything's like, that's happening, but we have that little tease, like, oh yeah, now we're going to release the Giga Project, which is really right next episode to be a giant robot. Yep, that's what I'm building up to for the past, like, a dozen episodes, like, I'd say about 10 episodes, I've been building this particular robot, and it's a very impressive robot. And guess who's piloting the damn thing? Kemp. And it's obviously asked, why is he piloting it? Because here's the thing. This guy fails a lot in trying to defeat a live man. Yet, Bias reveals the reason why. He was the first one to complete his homework. That was the reason why. I'm like, okay. So they bring out the live robo, battle for a while. And that, now, actually, 28, 29, and 30, this is the reason why I was originally planning to do 4, but I decided to do 5 because it's a 3-parter. So they battle for a while, and they get knocked out of the live robo, and then all of a sudden, another robot shows up. Is it an enemy, an ally? Who is this? This is the Black Bison robot. Yes, and we see the pilot, who is dressed in an Air Force uniform. No, seriously, he is dressed in an Air Force uniform. Which you were thinking, huh, that's interesting. Like, now who's this guy? The Black Bison's name is Tasa Yuno. He is the younger brother of the character who was killed back in the pilot episode. Yes, he's the younger brother of Tasa Yuno, which they do mention in the next episode of his relation to Taski, who is the younger of the 3. Yeah, apparently 3 brothers. Oh, I have 3 nephews, so basically that's nothing unusual. Yep. And apparently he built this particular robot, and they come and sound like, wow, it seems like a pretty good looking machine, and it gets damaged, and then like, oh crap, the episode is a cliffhanger, and then we have debut, like mentioned, oh yeah, I have a companion. Who is this companion? Well, he's also the brother of one of the victims from the pilot episode. Who is it, you might ask? Well, his name is Juicy Ottawa, the younger brother of Mari Ottawa. the girl who was also killed back in the pilot episode. And we get used to his, believe it or not, his Ginga Rhino. Yes. Which, unlike the other Zords, which actually look like they're actual freaking animals, these ones, not really. It seems like they're a bit more streamlined than the other ones are. And apparently he was late. And the reason why, because he couldn't control it very well, but he did get scolded for it. And Black Bison can't move because the fact that the core has been damaged. Like, okay, bring in the live cougar. Make his first appearance in 7 episodes. Excuse me, yeah. Yeah, so you use this core, though it gets destroyed by Kemp. Like, oh, you two are you two are the brothers to people I killed back in the episode. Yeah, he's the one who killed those two. And they try to get away, and of course, then they go, oh, they can combine. And Colin just happily is there, so yeah, it turns out these two can combine to form the Live Boxer. Yes, the Live Boxer, which basically is this big bulky guy, and also live robots trapped in this Ginga field. Then, of course, they punch it, and of course, the Ginga brain, this giant robot, gets trapped in the field, and the live robot is freed, and of course, they get away. And then, of course, we come to part 3, where it's revealed that apparently Live Boxer and Live Robot can combine. I'll get to that in a minute. Also, Kemp basically really wants to get back to basically piloting Zord. He was tasked to drive, but Astro was like, nope, tag, my turn. Why is he selected? Don't know. He just is. And then he's like, oh yeah, time to use it the proper way, causing mass destruction. So, then of course we have something quite interesting. We have Super Sentai history here. We have 2 new members joining the team, and they're not basically doing a transfer power. Nope. We basically have Yusuke just grabbing the wrist of both of them and giving them special morphers. Apparently, that's how morphers are created in this particular one. Like, okay. And then gets a film, and they're surrounded, and then they morph, into their Ranger forms. We have the debut of Black Bison, Bison Black, and Ginga Green. Which, I should point something out, though, about the Black Bison character, his suit. It's very similar to the suit worn by the Black Bison from Gal Ranger. It looks like almost the same exact suit, except the symbol on the chest is different. Yeah, it's like, because I've never seen it of course, I also saw it in Wild Force. It seems as though they took that particular suit and basically just swapped out the logo because it looks like the same exact suit. And then, of course, they have them basically participate in the first, grunt battle, which they did really well. They about Kemp. And then both get into the robots. And then they combine to form the Super Live Robo, which also gives the cockpit 2 chairs in the back. Yes. And something I've been mentioning before, that, excuse me, the interior of this cockpit, it looks very similar to the one used in Zoo Ranger. Maybe they reuse this particular. I know the chairs are the same. They look like the same exact ones they used in that one, but mostly I think it's mostly like a redesign. Maybe they use the same chairs, even though it's been several years at that point. So the combined power of this particular machine is eventually makes this new robot Ginga Vault is eventually destroyed. Asher, of course, is forced to flee. Also, before this, the whole thing when they revealed that these two can combine, this is thanks to the discovery of a supercomputer, Academic Island, making its first appearance in episode 15. Yes. So, and then they get back, and then they're there, and all of a sudden, oh crap, there's an intruder. Who is it? A character by the name of Dr. Dorothy. Which, by the way, this is her sole appearance in the entire run. She would have been a great character. She says, hey, I have a new core for your for your robot. And apparently off screen, apparently she probably took time to repair colon who'd been damaged. Like basically, they use her body to help form the live robo, the live boxer. And then apparently, like, this like hair is wet in one scene. The next scene, like, hair is like perfectly dry. Maybe at some point they probably dried it off. And apparently she's in charge of the team that she's basically their benefactor for Black Bison and King of Rhino. So then, of course, excuse me, if you hear the noise, my dad's about to mop my bathroom. So then that's when the new morphers are coming, and then she just disappears. And as far as I can tell, there's no explanation for this at all. She just doesn't show up again. Cola is still on the table. Presumably, she's probably fixed off screen. And Dr. Dorothy just went to someplace else. Possibly, yes. And after feed the robot, and they all wrap up basically. And they give those two who swap out their flight suits for like regular clothing. Of course, Ginga Rhino looks like he's wearing a green shirt, and Black Bison Black, is wearing a black shirt. I'm like, okay, so we're kind of doing the thing we usually see in Power Rangers: color coordinated clothing. Yes. Though in the case of the original 3, they're wearing the 80s style casual wear. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. But yeah, 5 really good episodes, and it's sad that after episode 30, they introduced these 2 new Rangers, and having 5 new Rangers, and then 19 episodes later, the thing ends. Yeah, I'm not really sure why it ended after 19 episodes. It probably is not the same case with what it was with Shock, where that lasted 35 episodes. That was canceled, low ratings. This one, I'm not sure. Maybe as far as I want to go with that, I'm not sure. Excuse me, yes, that's pretty much it for this particular review. I enjoy watching this. I'm glad if I can back watch this. So, basically, my next video I'm putting up is going to be Return of Fire Force. Yes, a review series I have not done in about 6 months. Why? Because I keep forgetting these chapters come out. There has been a total of 22 chapters going to come out that have been released since then. And I'm not going to review all 22 episodes of 22 chapters one video. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a series of, get this, 5 videos reviewing, actually about 6 videos actually, reviewing 5 chapters apiece. Actually, it's like, yeah, 5 videos reviewing 5 chapters apiece. And by the 5th one, basically at that point, hopefully I'll be kind of with the manga. Yes, this will be a series of 3 manga review series because there's been a good number of chapters released, and I think the other 2 I'm going to be bringing back is going to be Black Butler and One Punch Man. One Punch Man has released 12 chapters since I last reviewed it. Black Butler, as far as I can tell, has only released 8. Actually, it's more like about 10. Yeah, but Fire Force I'm doing this one first because this one is a weekly manga. And, of course, Black Butler is a monthly manga. And, of course, there is, well, One Punch Man. But after I do Fire Force, next one I'm going to do is going to be a review of the, what appears to be the final episode of Bash the Hero Party Season 1. I'll basically do a review for that and my final thoughts on the first season of the show, because I hope the season 2, because I really enjoy this one. And after I get that done, then I'll head back to Super Sentai to do not 5 episodes again, because I only did it 30 because it was part of this, because this is part of a 3-parter. I'm gonna do 4 episodes this time, just 4, and that's it. Okay, next video, bye.